Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and today we're going to be taking care of all the marigolds. We are done with marigolds, but we're also going to be prepping this bed and we're going to be planting our Ranunculus Corms. Okay, so the marigolds are at the end. Everything is falling over. The trellis are breaking. It's just, we're done. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a massive harvest of the marigolds. And then next I'm going to prep the beds. And then I'm going to get all those ranunculus corms that I started pre-sprouting. They're all looking really good. So we're going to go ahead and get those planted up in this garden. All right, these are my cocoa marigolds. And I started these in July in order to be able to get them to this point. A lot of people were asking, and I started them in early July. And they are nice and big, fluffy, happy little pom-poms, and I have really enjoyed them. We'll definitely be growing them next year. I bought the seeds from Harris Seeds, which the only thing I buy from them is the marigolds. Not because I don't like the other stuff, I just haven't tried the other stuff and I haven't had a need to buy anything else from them. But yeah, that's where I get all the seeds. And the variety I'm cutting right now is Gold, Cocoa Marigold Gold. And we're only going to cut the best ones and then we're going to pull out the plants. Look how happy that is. Look at that. That is one plant. Glorious. This was a giant sunflower. Look at this plant. How about that? And I love the smell of marigolds. It's not a popular smell, but I'm obsessed with it. So probably put some flower arrangements together at the end of the video. Okay, this angle's a little weird because it's still hot and my camera needs to be in the shade. Let me go around. Okay, right here I still have an eggplant and I've heard that they are perennial. So I thought about coming in here and seeing if I could just cut them back to the base of the plant and then leave these plants in here. See if they come back next year. If they don't, that's fine. No big deal. If they do, awesome. I mean, these have some very strong stems. Look at this. One plant, y'all. One freaking plant. All that was from one plant. Gorgeous. Let me flip the other side. There are some eggplants on here that I can harvest. Now you want to be careful with the eggplants because they do have thorns. Cut this off into smaller pieces. There's another one. I'm really excited to grow a couple of new varieties of eggplant next year. what a joy they have been. They struggle with a little bit of spider mites at the very beginning of the growing season in the spring. And I treated them with water, just sprayed them down hardcore with water. And they haven't had a problem since. Woohoo. All right. So let's take a look at what we got going in here. Definitely have some large stems left over from sunflowers that were in here early this year. Definitely have grass. Let me sit down here. Let's do a little cleanup. Okay, a couple of things I'm seeing. This earth is really dry, which makes me question my drip lines. And with that being said, it makes sense. I don't know if y'all can see this planter over here to the left. A bunch of stuff died in it. And I think it's because the drip lines weren't working. I mean, some of this dirt is like rock solid. Yeah. Look how dry that is. Okay, with that in mind, I think what I'm going to do is I'm obviously going to supplement the soil a little bit because I'm not seeing the typical worms that I see quite frequently in my garden. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just so dry. Look at that. So obviously there is an issue over here. Wow. Okay, this is not the issue I thought we were going to be dealing with today. Okay. Okay. We are going to add a couple of bags of potting soil and compost to this bed. This might mean sacrificing this eggplant over there, but that's okay. Worth it to have a better quality in here. All right. This will settle massively, so don't be fooled. I think I only have one bag of compost left, so we'll use what I have. Okay, it's not even a full bag. That's what I got. Oh, it smells terrible. This compost has been wet. Okay, and then I'm going to feed this heavily with Garden Tone. That was like half a bag I put in. Now all that really dry soil, it's okay though, it's at the bottom of this. And the roots will reach down through it of any plants I put in here. This is where I'm going to put my ranunculus, so I want it to be in good shape. And it probably would have ended up not real happy with my results had I put my ranunculus with just the existing soil as it was. And then last thing I'm going to do is give it a really good water. Really just allowing the water to sink down. Okay, I'm going to just let that soak in for a few minutes while I start messing with the drip irrigation. Okay, so a couple of things I've learned about drip irrigation. When I have water pressure issues, meaning water is not getting up here into the urn, and that we're perhaps not getting enough water issues here, it means I have too long of a line and I need to reconnect back into some different places. And so instead of this whole section of the bed and going up here, it has one tiny little 1/4 inch line right here feeding all that. And that 1/4 inch line is attached to several gardens that way. So what tells me is I also need to come back and make an additional connection over here and in just a couple of different places to help with better water pressure. It'd be really smart to make a connection right over here so that we're creating more places for water to access the drip lines instead of just one single location. Okay, so I've got my tools out here. This right here is a line that used to run to some pots that I no longer have. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with like a try or a T, and what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to connect the lines back to each other. So the T, now I can make a cut. We'll take a little bit of this out. I can make a cut right in here on this brown line, and then I can put the T right back into it. So now I have additional water pressure going between the lines instead of trying to snake between one long line. And we'll do that in a couple of places. Okay, then in addition, remember we have just this one line coming here to feed everything, so I'm going to attach to another place in here. And I know I shouldn't have tossed all these in here, but here we are. So I'm going to add a place there. I'm going to add a place in there. Okay. I feel like the water pressure is better in here, but I've still not been able to get it up into here. I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have to run a 1/2 inch line or an inch line, whatever, the bigger line, all the way down the side here. And I'm trying to think, I think I'm going to run it all the way down the side here, and it's going to connect back into here. And then from that, I'll also be able to run stuff for here. I think that's what we're going to have to do. I think that right now this line is coming here, and it's just snaking through all of this, and it's just too hard on it. And it'd be really good. I probably need to go back and add across multiple places. I think what I need to do is do a video on fixing my drip irrigation where I'm having issues. Okay, anyway, But we do have drip running to here. We're feeling good about that. So let's go ahead and start looking at our ranunculus. Okay, here are the ranunculus that I started pre-sprouting inside. And you can see we have a lot coming up. Basically what we're going to be doing is going in and pulling each of them. Now, even if they're not showing signs of life, they're still getting planted. Because they might just be a little slow to go. And truthfully, I haven't given these tons of time, but I'm ready to get them in the ground and move on with my life. And basically what you're looking for is hopefully they've created some roots and a leaf and shoots, and we're going to put them right by a drip irrigation. And basically what we're going to do is plant them a couple of inches deep. It's not hard once you've done this a few times. Super simple. Now, as I'm planting these, actually, let me just make a big pile of them. I'll go ahead and spread all these out. We are going to be caring for these throughout the winter, making sure that they do not freeze. And some of these haven't sprouted yet, but they all certainly have a lot of roots, which is a good sign. So they will sprout, and they'll get consistent moisture out here, so they should do fine. I will say I've forgotten to water these, which isn't great. They'll be fine though. They'll probably be more consistently watered out here than they were with me inside. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly spread the rest of this dirt and see if I have a few more come up, which I did. We'll tuck those in. And I'm putting them on both sides of the drip lines. So like wherever there's an emitter, I'm putting one on one side and one on the other. And I would say about 75% of the corms look pretty good. Definitely had some rotting in a few places. Okay, and this soil was already pretty moist, so I'm not going to worry about watering them right now. These drip lines are getting watered, I believe, every 3 days. I might have to change them to 2 so these don't dry out. A lot of work. Doesn't look like much. It's going to look awesome. I will definitely, once we get into November, I will put my freeze covers over this, show you what that looks like. I usually build a little tunnel. And I originally had it in this bed last year. But I'm trying to move things around so that I, can fight any potential diseases, stuff like that. So we're going to move it over to this bed this year and see how it does. Hopefully it'll be okay. I should start seeing them greening up. Still pretty warm here, but we're definitely on our way down from the temps. So I feel okay putting them in right now and giving them time to get settled before we get much colder weather. I'm going to do an arrangement. And I want it to kind of be a floppy arrangement. I have a beautiful vintage brass container for it to be in. And I'm just going to kind of design in my hand over here. And it's going to be a little all over the place. Probably going to look like a hot mess to start off with. I feel like all my arrangements look like a hot mess when I'm just getting started. I've noticed a lot with the marigolds, they snap very easily. Their stems are very fragile. Not enough for me to stop growing them or anything. I'm just going to rotate the bouquet as I'm working. It's too early on in the process to really pay attention much to what flowers colors I'm putting in different places. And as I add more and more, I'll pay attention a little bit more. Broken, a couple of broken ones. And now as I start to get to the end, I really start to see if I've got any holes that I need to fill. Although this design's looking pretty good. Alright, I've got this pretty little container, and I'm just cutting all my stems into the bucket underneath. I thought this brass gold color would be really pretty with the orange and the yellow of the marigolds. Well, that just turned out lovely. Love it with the brass. It's very whimsical. It's not a perfectly round design. Let me turn it to the other side so y'all can see. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. Feeling good. That was unexpected in that bed. So figuring out that there is an irrigation issue. So basically going in there, breaking up the existing soil that was just really dry and hard, adding in a bunch of new potting soil and mixing in compost and mixing in fertilizer and checking the drip lines again and making some adjustments for a little bit of better water pressure. And I'm going to need to address that later on. So probably in this next week or so, running drip irrigation, running a bigger tube, which makes sense. I think that that's the longest point I have in the garden with just that 1/4 inch. So I think bringing in some of the 1/2 inch or inch or whatever it is, the larger drip through that area will help significantly. I'll do a whole video on that to help you to show if you're having any kind of water pressure issues. And then harvesting all the marigolds and getting them arranged, and then of course getting all of our pre-sprouted fall planted ranunculus in the garden. very, very exciting. Those are going to get drip irrigation for 20 minutes every 2 days. So just so you know. And that's going to be for now, and then the winter I'll readjust that as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm hot and sweaty still. All right, y'all, as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow my channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below letting me know you made it to the end and that you say hi. And be sure to check me out on my social media outlets, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.